Today begins like many others in the Read With Me program. Volunteers gather at Palm Desert Presbyterian Church and Sacred Heart Church in Palm Desert and St. Francis Church in La Quinta to begin preparing for their rides to either Mecca or Thermal. Excitement builds as the volunteers who are taking the bus head to their assigned schools, whether it be Mecca Elementary School, Las Palmitas School, or Oasis Schools in Thermal. The volunteers embark on a journey to change the lives of children through the Read With Me program. From Palm Desert to Mecca, the journey takes approximately 40 minutes, where the population is 97% Hispanic and 97% of the families earn an income below the poverty level. The area is predominantly agricultural. The main form of employment is fruit and vegetable picking. The majority of adults have a 3rd to 5th grade education from schools in Mexico. They speak only Spanish at home. There are no stores and no opportunities for children to speak English other than in their classrooms. 6 years ago, a program was started in one of the 6 schools in the area to provide an expanded opportunity for children to learn English. Clay and Roberta Klein, fathered Howard Lincoln and Sacred Heart Church in Palm Desert, filled a request from the superintendent of schools to provide English-speaking role models and tutors to bring volunteers to Mecca Elementary School every school day from November to the end of April. The school district provided the bus, the Kleins raised the money to pay for it, Father Lincoln used his pulpit and the church bulletin to recruit volunteers, and the school principal provided the training and scheduling for the volunteers. 200 volunteers go every year, about 30 to 40 a day, to read with children at this one school. The test scores have risen from 504 to 698 on the API reading scores. The Read With Me program is very simple. Volunteers choose a grade level they would like to work with and are matched up with a classroom teacher who would like their help. The volunteers sit down either one-on-one with selected students or in a small group. Each child reads to the volunteer. The volunteer helps with pronunciation, but most importantly with comprehension. The child may be able to sight read, but if they don't understand what they have read, they are not really reading. When the child is reading, the volunteer asks questions to make sure that the child understands individual words and concepts. Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat all his life. In this country, in this time, the analogy for fishing is reading. We must teach every child to read in order for them to develop to their maximum potential. In the Eastern Coachella Valley, that translates to breaking the cycle of poverty and moving beyond earning a living picking in the fields. Most research shows that if a child is not reading at grade level by the time they're in the 3rd grade, they will drop out of high school. The people with the greatest capacity to help, as well as the time to help, live in the comfortable surroundings. The children who need their help often live in depressed areas, many times in unsafe neighborhoods. The barrier is getting the volunteers to the children. Make it easy for volunteers. Provide free, safe transportation to the children in their school. Talk with the superintendent of schools about needy schools and the principal of each school. Talk with your pastor about the role your church can play in truly making a difference in a significant number of lives. There are many people in need throughout the world, but there are also many in need in an area near you. Now the important question, how do you pay for it? We started a fund at our local community foundation, the Desert Community Foundation, and asked people we knew who were interested in providing educational opportunities for disadvantaged children to contribute. The first year it was 4 people each gave $5,000. We now have an annual budget of $75,000 to provide transportation for 3 schools and equipment for one particular school that is 100 years old and in need of updated equipment and supplies. It is our hope that as other churches expand their Read With Me programs, they will help those schools with donations for equipment and supplies. The ministry of serving disadvantaged children is a joyful experience for the volunteers, the churches, the schools, the donors, and the teachers. We'd like to share the joy and encourage other churches, individuals, and schools to join in the fun.